those who remained loyal often struggled to do so. Among lawyers, Harry Rex trusted only Jake, and the trust was mutual. During the Haley trial, when Jake was losing sleep and weight and focus and dodging bullets and death threats, and certain he was about to blow the biggest case of his career, Harry Rex quietly stepped into Jake's office. He stayed in the background, spending hours on the case without looking for a dime. He unloaded volumes of free advice and kept Jake sane. As always on Mondays, Harry Rex was at his desk eating a hoagie for lunch. For divorce lawyers like him, Mondays were the worst days as marriages cracked over the weekends and spouses already at war ramped up their attacks. Jake entered the building through a rear door to avoid, 1, the notoriously prickly secretaries, and 2, the smoke-laden waiting room filled with stressed-out clients. Harry Rex's office door was closed. Jake listened for a moment, heard no voices, then shoved it open.
"What do you want?"
Harry Rex growled as he chomped on a mouthful. The hoagie was spread before him on wax paper, with a small mountain of barbecue potato chips piled around it. He was washing it all down with a bottle of Bud Light. "Well, good afternoon, Harry Rex. Sorry to barge in on your lunch." He wiped his mouth with the back of a beefy hand and said,
"You're not bothering my lunch. What's up?"
"Drinking already?" Jake said as he backed into a massive leather chair.
"If you had my clients, you'd start at breakfast."
"I thought you did."
"Never on Mondays. How's Miss Carla?"
"Fine, thanks. And how's Miss, what's her name?"
"Jane, smartass. Jane Ellen Vonner. And she's not only surviving life with me, but seems to be having a ball, and thankful to be so lucky. Finally found a woman who understands me."
He scooped up a pile of bright red chips and crammed them in his mouth. "Congratulations. When do I meet her?"
"We've been married for 2 years."
"I know, but I prefer to wait and find. No sense rushing in when these gals have such a short shelf life."
"You come here to insult me?"
"Of course not." And Jake was being honest. Swapping insults with Harry Rex was a fool's game. He weighed over 300 pounds and lumbered around town like an old bear, but his tongue was stunningly quick and vicious. Jake said, "Tell me about Seth Hubbard." Harry Rex laughed and sent debris flying over his landfill of a desk.
"Couldn't have happened to a bigger asshole. Why do you ask me?"
"Ozzy said you handled one of his divorces."
"I did. His second, maybe 10 years ago. About the time you showed up here in town and started calling yourself a lawyer. Why should Seth concern you?"
"Well, before he killed himself, he wrote me a letter. And he also wrote a 2-page will. Both arrived in the mail this morning." Harry Rex took a sip of beer, narrowed his eyes, and thought about this.
"You ever meet him?"
"Never."
"Lucky. You didn't miss a damn thing."
"Don't talk about my client like that."
"What'd the will say?"
"Can't tell you. And I can't probate until after the funeral."